Rickmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, rickmotech.com.
And welcome to Sim Racing Media and we're going to go road racing actually. We're going to go left and right. I am Alan Bergen in the Tony Trapezo Memorial Studio just south of St. Louis, and my good friend Jordan Bruckell. Jordan, how's it going, bud?
Going great. It's going to be great to see some of these guys show their further skills in more than just oval racing, and it's going to be fun to see these guys really put it all out there.
You're not wrong. So we are live here in Austin, Texas at the world famed COTA, the Circuit of the America, and we are just finished up with qualifying here, or actually getting ready to finish up with qualifying here. And I just want to touch on something real quick here. Here is the race information today. Maybe. If it'll cooperate. Either way, it's a balmy 70. It's hot. It's hot here in Austin, Texas. As we have 26 cars signed in tonight. And we're gonna go over your starting grid here in just 1 second. There we go. As these guys get ready to do battle here. So Jordan, 26 cars. Michael Rambler grabs the pole here tonight. 33 laps and one stage break at lap 33. Or
No,
not
stage
30,
break at
11.
Yep. So I mean, saying that Rambler got the pole is an understatement. I mean, he has the pole by over 2 seconds. So he definitely earned his pole for sure. He's looking to bounce back. He had a terrible finish last week, finishing dead last. At Richmond, and he really needs to bounce back. And he's been so close to winning that as long as he can get out there and just keep himself on an easy pace and not really get ahead of himself, I think he can make this 33 laps go by pretty quickly for him and pull off his first win of the season. I mean, he's been oh so close and just kind of had it ripped away from him at several instances, as well as Justin Opplinger, our race winner from last week, starting P3. It's going to be great for him, possibly grab some more stage points, some more finishing points, and really kind of move himself up the board. And as far as the standings, Rambler fell 3 spots in the standings back to 6th after last week, so I'm looking for him to have a good day today and kind of bounce back from that last week woe.
Right, you are. So as we get ready to, we're gridded up here, and we got like 13 corners on this road course here tonight, and so the idea of iRacing running no cautions here. A lot of leagues don't run cautions on these types of racetracks. It just takes so long to get through them.
Yeah, and a big thing for these guys tonight is they're going to have to pay attention to tire temps. kind of keeping themselves cool. We're sitting around 118 degrees track temp. That's hot. It's going to be slick. You're going to have to try to not flat spot these tires in some of these faster corners. Really get in a good rhythm through the S's and, just kind of keep your head in it and drive the track more than you drive, the people around you.
All right, so as we get going here, unfortunately, we don't have a grid tonight. Our live timing is adding up, so we're just going to ramble it off to you. Michael Lisp Rambler grab the pole. Jacob Jensen to his outside. Brian Sinisak is starting inside row 2. Outside of row 2 will be Justin Oplinger. Alan Dobbs will start. Joshua Vidal will start. Well, that's my computer decided to not work. Maybe. All right, well. There we go. We're back. Where was I? Oh. Daniel Krim will be starting 8th here tonight. Ted Pullen will start 9th. Frank Orsini will start. Ted Pullen will start 9th. Matt Cochran. Well, we're getting ready to go green. Here we go live from Coda as we are green flag racing, heading up to the hill to turn number 1. As my computer has having some technical difficulties here.
We see, Michael Scott List Rambler already moving out to just about a second of a lead, through the S's. And I think it's going to be his race to lose, essentially. He's already flying and pulling away from these guys. And, it's looking like it could possibly just be a race for second tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned you have that one stage break at, lap 11 as we are working around the circle. We have 33 laps here tonight. My goodness. Right now we're working our way through that first lap. This lap's been so long. So really, Jordan, 33 laps is kind of like, 65.
Yeah, and I mean, it's 16 turns. It's one of the larger tracks on the circuit. I mean, we went from, Richmond, which is a short track, about half a mile, and we come here to Coda, and Coda, is a little over 3.5 miles. That's a lot of extra travel for one lap, and you're not necessarily going to always be around somebody. So you're really just going to have to focus on driving the track to the best of your ability and maybe finding an off strategy that kind of gets you some quicker lap times to get you, possibly out in front and kind of, find a way to get, ahead of these guys that are going to be in front of you.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. And I do apologize about not having the ticker going here to see the information. But as right now we're watching Justin Oplinger in that 51 car. He is battling the 64 car of Jacob Jensen there. And, Michael Scott Lisp Rambler, he's on his own planet right now. But
yeah, and he's just going to run away. He showed some quick times in practice, and he, showed that he knows his way around this track, and I don't see anyone really matching him, but, as time goes on, it's only going to change, and, we're going to see really what he has for everybody, what he has over everybody tonight.
So we're here about 8th position. That's Daniel Krem, he's started 8th. So the top 8 really haven't changed until you get to Nicholas Weatherby, who is up 10 spots, so he started 19th. And that first corner is where you make up a lot of your ground.
Yeah, and definitely trying to get a good run through these these longer straightaways and trying to get yourself to fire off out of these corners very quickly. Especially, it's a little slick, so it's going to be hard to fire off super fast and really put the throttle down. But the quicker you can get that power fully down to the track and be in the track, the more that you're going to be able to take advantage of these long, I want to say front stretches, but it's not really a front stretch. And make your moves, maybe brake just a tad bit later than the guy in front of you, make up some ground, but still try to keep the car under you, as we see Orsini get a little bit loose coming out of that little hairpin-ish turn.
Yeah, so I want to bring up the track map real quick, and we're watching Alan Dobbs here, and I'll be right back.
Alan Dobbs, having a great season going right now. He finished 3rd last week at Richmond. Currently sitting as our points leader. He jumped up 3 spots from 4th, so he's made some headway in this season already. Making definitely a good case for this playoffs. I mean, we're not really that close. We're only about 4 races in, so still a lot of time to go. Definitely things can go wrong, but as far as things go for him right now, he's out in the points lead, and he's got it by about 5 points. And it's going to be exciting to see some of these guys fight for these positions here later on.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Sorry, I had a delivery to the Tony Trapasso booth. As we're watching the number 51 car of Justin Opplinger. And here's the thing is, the other thing I want to mention too is there's parts on the track where you can't run off because you'll get that 1X and you'll get disqualified before you know it.
Yeah, and it's very simple to just get that little bit of off track when you get a little too trigger happy with that throttle and either spin yourself around and gain yourself 2 points there for losing control or going off track, and maybe a little bit of a late in the braking zone, making contact with the guy in front of you. So you're gonna also have to watch out for those incidents, without a doubt.
As we are working lap number 2, and these are going to be very long laps here. We're looking right in front of, that's Opplinger right there, and we're going to go back here to Michael Self, who's running in that 24th position. And Jordan, there's a lot of guys that can do road racing, and then there's a lot of guys that can't.
Yeah, and I definitely chalk myself up as one of those guys that definitely cannot do road racing. I'd probably be sitting around where Michael Self is right now, just kind of logging laps, trying to, get through this race, maybe get a couple more points from people that possibly get disqualified. He gets an off track there, definitely going to lose it. And I mean, it's not simple. It's not easy for everyone. And, it's just like a road racer thinking that oval is super easy, or an oval driver thinking dirt is very easy, or, everyone has their specialties, and some people just can't do road racing, and I am one of them. I love doing road racing, but to be competitive, I'm not anywhere near that.
Well, to do the things that you want to do, and being able to do them well, I'm with you. I'm with the majority that I like road racing, but it's somewhat difficult. As we are working lap 3 right now, and once again we have a stage break on lap We have a stage break here on lap 11, and I am working feverishly to get that going here, so bear with us as we get the stage or the scoring up for you guys.
You know, we see weights too as well right there in that 12 car. He's already got some rear end damage on that right hand side. And that's going to be another key factor is being a road course and having such long straightaways, you're going to need that aero still and, be able to, have that air just kind of go over you and, allow you to pick up that speed as well as draft off of people. And, if you start getting some of these bumpers all crinkled up and screwed up, you're not really going to push air around as simple and easy as you want. It may even slow you down a bit.
Definitely not wrong there. As we continue to work work on the timing and scoring here. Watching 12 car there. Once again, I do apologize for not having the timing spring up. I had a computer issue right before we went on the air, so bear with us and we'll get this all sorted out.
See Ted Pullen really pulling out there, trying to get around that 97. He does so, and he's going to have to watch for the crossover and braking into this corner. We see Smith, he's deep into that corner. Ted Pullen goes around right in front of his teammate, Michael Thwaites.
Yeah, Michael Thwaites really had that issue there coming through the corner. Here we are, though. We are watching Michael Thwaites. But we are going to do a real quick thing here. We're going to step aside. We're going to run to a commercial really fast, and we'll be right back.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here, featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
We're back live here from Circuit of the Americas. And once again, we're on lap 8 or 7 rather, and right now Bryce Sinisek is running P3. We got a nice little battle right here going on between Joshua Vidal, Alan Fox, Daniel Prem.
Yeah, and I mean, we see that, you know, Liss Ramler is on another zip code with these guys right now. He's just out front, running away, and just really taking control.
You know what? You're not wrong here. You're definitely not wrong. Here's Forrest Smith. He's running in P11 right now. And that's a nice little battle with wow. Jonathan Cogswell there. Paul Irvin is all by himself in that number 48 car. There's the number 46 car. He had an earlier incident. And I don't know what happened to him, but he lost his back bumper. So, if, you know, that 86 car is missing the back bumper. You've seen it? It belongs to the 86 car.
Yeah, and that's really gonna hurt him in these longer straightaways. He's gonna really need that to, you know, kind of push that air around and keep his, you know, his arrow going in the right direction.
For sure. And, you know, we got 3 laps until we come up to that stage break here at lap 11. And so far, it's been a pretty good race outside of our timing and scoring issues. And once again, I do apologize for that. Here we see Joshua Vidal going up the hill and to that left-hander. Scott Weatherby,
Yeah,
we are having issues with our timing and scoring tonight. So, unfortunately, I would have to shut down my OBS and try to get that restarted. So, as you were saying, Jordan.
Oh, I was just gonna say that turn 1 is very tricky because, you know, you have such a high speed, and then you start trekking uphill, and then you have to, you know, figure out the guy in front of you. You know, is he going to brake a lot earlier than you're anticipating, or, you know, is he going to maybe brake a little later and, you know, get through the corner a lot faster than you? And, you know, then you start losing time, or you end up, you know, with a case that you're into his back bumper. So it's a lot. It's very tricky to try to run this track to the best of your ability when you're that close to somebody.
Here we are, Nicholas Weatherby. Got Weatherby cheering on Nicholas there in that number 69 car. We're going to get these guys as much screen time as we can tonight. That's our issue right now, is it's showing 1 lap to go, but obviously not. We are on lap 9 of 33 here at Circuit of the Americas. We're watching Daniel Krem there in that number 47 car. And
and you can definitely tell the pace difference with some of these guys, because, you know, Scott Ramler, you know, just running away, you know, but, you know, Senesac and Opplinger, you know, they're right on each other. You know, Krim and Alan Fox right here, they're on each other, as well as, you know, I'm gonna, you know, Vidal and Weatherby, you know, they're right on each other as well, you know, so there's a bunch of these little tiny battles, you know, people who are just 1 or 2, you know, spaces in between each other. And then you have a little bit, oh, he grabs the curb there, and that's a scary thing to do, is, you know, hop one of those turtles. It's really going to set that car off, and, you know, you're going to be under fire by the guy behind you as soon as you hit one of those.
Yeah, very detrimental to your speed coming down the road. And once again, you just got to be careful and be on the lookout for those curves. And, you know, we're gonna do something old school. We're gonna go right through the field. And right now there's Michael Scott Ramler, he's running first. Bryce Senesac, he's up 2 positions as he started 4th. Justin Opplinger just right behind him in that number 51 car. He's running 3rd. As he tried to make a move on the 09 there of Sinesek, Alan Dobbs, sure, not too far behind him, and that number 38 car, the 64 car of Jacob Jensen there. Up 13 spots is Nicholas Weatherby, which Scott Weatherby is rooting him on as he gets almost got passed by Jason Vidal. Jason Vidal is in that number 26 car. Here we are working lap number 9. Daniel Krem working there in that number 8 spot in that 47 car. Alan Fox there in that number 73 car. Michael Thwaites in the 12 car. He's running 10th right now. And some of these guys are just really spread out. Ted pulling there in that number 15 car, Forrest Smith, and the 97 car, Jonathan Cogswell, and the 84 car, Paul Irvin, and the 48 car. Right behind him is the Chief Cook and Bottle Washer here at Extreme XMS Series, and he's running 15th. Tyler Bertram is running 16th in the 86 car. Craig Orsini, and we have the yellow flag is out, and that is the stage. You know, and Jordan, I'd like to point out, here as the field gets caught up to the iRacing.com pace car. What we're gonna do real quick is I got a trick that I'm gonna try here to get this timing to show up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna step away for a quick break. Screen's gonna go black, but we're gonna be right back. And just like that, we have timing and scoring.
Everything the way it should be.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. I don't think the fans would mind that. It was a short, sweet, to the point. But there's your race info. We were going to get to it earlier, as we have an 86-degree ambient temperature, 13% relative humidity, and a partly cloudy sky here with a 5-mile-an-hour wind. This situation remedied, as we have some 22 laps to go here. And I'm sure, Jordan, everybody in the YouTube land is probably clapping right now.
Yeah, for sure. Not being able to see anything, it makes for a long race. You're just kind of watching cars go around. You don't know if they're in first or 21st. So being able to see where your favorite driver is definitely going to be great for these guys.
Yeah, thank you for bearing with Jordan and I. As Liam is hopefully watching, and we are, as he is taking on somewhat of a different schedule. So, nonetheless, we got everything fixed and everything remedied. So we're gonna have a good second half of this race. As right now, your leader is Michael Scott Lisp Rambler. Bryce Sinesek, he is your second place guy. your second place driver right now. And we want to thank everybody here at XMS for making Sim Racing Media your entertainment destination here, as we are on season 19. Can you believe that, Jordan? 19 seasons here. And what I want to do is I want to talk to a couple drivers, since how this is a long road course to get around underneath the pace lap. So Jordan, why don't you message a driver and see if they're available to have a quick chat with us?
Yeah, for sure. I will grab Liz Rambler. He's the one that just won our stage. I just gotta find him in this. Yep, there he is. We'll get him up here momentarily. Michael Scott, Liz Rambler. It's Jordan up in the broadcast booth. You got me?
Give me just a second here, guys. I'm getting ready to enter pit road.
And they're all going to come down pit road.
Yeah, so we see everybody's going to take the opportunity to come down pit road. Or everybody's going to come down, get their fuel, tires, kind of reset. It's very important, at a road course, because you're just going to have to try to get yourself back in a groove, and you get wound up for 11 laps, and then you have to try to shut it down, and then bounce back and take a run again. Now that he is out of pit road, let's see if we can get him up here. All right. You got us this time?
Yep, I got you this time.
Yep, apologies for that. It was we lost track of where we were on the track. Such a large track, it's kind of hard to tell where you are sometimes. But you seem to have this place figured out, and you get the stage win, and plan going forward just to continue to ride out this race.
Yep, just planning on saving some tires and doing what I've been doing. It seems like everybody's fallen off after about 3 laps really bad. And after that point, I can just go into a comfortable save mode and still keep driving away.
Well, I can say that the reason they fall off so bad is because they're trying to chase down that 57 there that just seems to be on rails, and we'll be pulling for you up here in the booth, and we'll get you back down to your team and get your game plan going.
All right, thank you guys.
That was Michael Scott, Liz Rambler, and I'm sure he's definitely excited to get yet another stage win here. He's definitely hoping to pull off a win. It's been evading him this entire season. He's been in the first 2 races, he was leading pretty much in the entirety of Daytona, and then he was leading most of Homestead, and then had such a poor week last week, just getting spun right off the beginning of the race at Richmond, and he finds himself here. He's able to kind of gap these guys. I mean, his fastest lap is almost 3 full seconds faster than Brian Senesak's. He ran a 2:18.91 to Senesak's 2:21.60. So Michael Scott has this track down, knows what he needs to do, and he's just going to try to keep his mind clear and set sail and just not push too hard.
So we're going to go on board right now with Michael Scott, or Scott Rambler, and we're going to bring up his dashboard here. You see, he's going to start off in 2nd gear, and we're going to take you for a ride along there. Hey, look, I'm a Toyota fan all day long, so I love the fact that he's driving a Toyota. And speed. That's a beautiful paint scheme, and I know you really can't see much from the inside of his car, but you can see, we're going to see two things. Jordan, one, working the wheel, and two, we're going to see the gearing and how slow some of these corners are. When we come back to green, we're going to take a lap around with Blitz Rambler here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm gonna move slightly up just a hair. There we go. Because I really want everybody at home to see the gearing that these guys are doing, and how many times in one lap they're shifting. Right now he's running around about 30, 45 miles an hour. So I think we're getting ready to come back to green as iRacing.com pace car, almost gets ready to pull off of there. And I grabbed the wrong thing there. That was my bad. But we're getting ready to get the second half of this race started. We've got 20 laps to go. So, on big tracks like this, Jordan and Talladega, I equate these 20 lappers, this 20 lap run right now, because we got a couple cars taking the wave around. So you look and say, oh, it's 20 laps to go, it's really not that bad. But if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things, it's really, I equate it to like 40 laps.
I mean, yeah, you're looking at roughly probably about 60-ish miles, a little bit more because you have that half-ish mile in there as well. So I mean, you're looking at like 60 plus miles of racing, which at a Dover, that's 60 laps. At Talladega, that's still around 30 or so laps. So I mean, it's a lot of time to still make mistakes or find your way to move forward. And so it's not over by any means. I mean, all it's going to take is Rambler to have a really bad pit stop, or overdrive a corner, and this race could be handed to Senesac or Opplinger or Dobbs that are just kind of sitting there waiting to pounce. So I mean, it's still anybody's race by any means. And a lot of these guys right here right here behind Rambler, they're running in the 221, 223-ish area. So there's a lot of people who are going to be fighting for that second spot and basically just hoping and waiting that Rambler has an issue.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. As you see, they come around that hard left-hander right there. It's almost like a hairpin turn. That, for me, driving this course, that is a huge trouble spot for me. As we come back.
Yeah, I mean, you're going from high speed to trying to brake as late as possible so you can get into the corner deeper to kind of make time up and then have a good fire off. But if you get too hard on those brakes, or the brake bias isn't set correctly, and you could end up basically blowing that corner, or over braking and bringing the rear end of the car around on you, and then you set yourself back a couple of spots. You're way behind the leader. If you're running, like if in the case of Senesac or Opplinger, you lose so much time that you're already losing to Rambler. So you really just have to keep your head on straight and run the track the way you know how, and just kind of keep searching for what's going to work for you.
Well, I think this time I don't think they're counting caution laps, even though, or they might be, and it just takes that long to get around this big, huge road course. And once again, we're going to bring up the weather and show you the weather here. And so right now it's about 20 after 1 here in the sim time, and the track temperature is 120 degrees. You could almost cook an egg on this racetrack.
Yeah, and I mean, thankfully for these guys, it's actually come down just a few degrees, and it's not going to be that noticeable, but just a little bit of cooler temperatures is always going to be nice, because you're going to have a little bit more grip, and you're going to be able to kind of drive a little bit more aggressively, and not really have to worry about the tires slipping from under you.
Yeah, so there we go. We're gonna do that. But that's the track map right there. As you see, they're getting ready to make that hard left-hander back onto the front stretch. And I would be remiss to say we got 19 to go. I think we're going to come back to the racing with 18 to go, as it looks like the iRacing.com pace lights have been extinguished. So we'll have 1 to go when we come back, or 18 to go when we come back to green. Once again, I do appreciate everybody with their patience as we work through the timing and scoring issues. We did get it remedied, so I apologize for the first half of the race not having that, but didn't want to take away from the action, so rather do it old school, and then once we got to the stage break, go ahead and fix it, and that way we have it up for the second half race. Because we are doubled up here, and so now we're going to go back on board with Les Rambler here, Jordan, and I want to pay attention to a couple things. We don't want to bring that up, but we do want to bring this up here. And when he takes off his second gear. We're going to take a 1 lap around here. He's going to take off his second gear, and we're going to have some high-speed corners and some low-speed corners.
Yeah, and you're really going to have to focus on every aspect of this track. It's really simple to maybe downshift too early or upshift too early, so you're again giving taking time away from yourself, and that's what I think Scott Rambler has here, is that he knows exactly where he needs to be every point of this track, and he doesn't have to worry about traffic at all, so he can just kind of run his own race, and he's never going to really see any traffic. If he does, I mean, those guys are going to be the slower in the back of the pack kind of guys that are just going to move out of the way really quickly. They're not going to really fight to stay on the lead lap because it's not really worth their time. So he's never really going to be in traffic, so he doesn't have to change how he's driving.
Well, I tell you this right now, Jordan, we're going to be mean and green the rest of the way there. This is the one lone caution that we will have here tonight in the Xfinity Series race. And we're going to get ready to come back to green here very shortly. We're going to go ahead and do this also. We're going to go ahead and bring that track map back up so you kind of see where they're at on the racetrack, so we can correlate where the cars are, and once we get spread out here. So right now we're coming through like a little switchback section, as I call it.
Yeah, and this point in the race where we get, we're only going to have this one restart. So having this restart is going to be pivotal for some of these guys here in the back to, maybe to try to leapfrog some of these guys going into that, long front stretch down into turn 1, to where, they can try to outbrake somebody. But it's also a very easy place to cost yourself and someone else a lot of time, if not any kind of position in the race, getting into them too hard. So it's tricky, but it's going to be the biggest opportunity to gather a lot more spots in a quick situation.
Oh, you're not wrong. I tell you what, though, Jordan, I am so pumped for the second half of this race. Look, normally I go get dinner real quick, but I had my lovely wife delivered dinner to the Tony Trapasso Memorial booth here, just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. And you know, I gotta thank her for letting me do this, you know, 5-6 nights a week. But nonetheless, Jordan, we're getting ready to go green. So coming out of that last left-hander, 35 miles an hour, we're gonna hit a Geico restart zone. And we're green flag. Ooh, he spun the tires just a little bit.
Yeah, it seemed that he actually took off in first gear there. He didn't even mind running in second gear. He wanted to get that big jump, get that big lead. And, you know, as you can hear from the left side of Dobbs, he's already under fire as Opplinger dives it in there and takes the spot away. But he's going to have to really fight hard on the outside here because he's getting ready to go into these S's. And I'll tell you what, it's not easy trying to play that flip-flop. As they make door contact, that's going to send Dobbs over one of those turtles, and they're all out of whack here.
Whoa, look here, we're on board with Opplinger right now. And here he comes through the S's about 77 miles an hour. And then he's still in second gear, so you don't really use second gear throughout the whole entirety of the S's. And you're pretty much driving highway speed.
Yeah, and that shows right there how quickly things change at this track. You know, he went through those S's. He was in, you know, third place fighting for second and quickly found himself, you know, being passed for fifth. And now he's having to work on the inside of Jensen there, trying to get by him as Jensen's going to get a better fire off and make a long run down this straightaway here.
As we're watching some other drivers back in the field here. Oh boy, here we go. So there's some spots that you're going to get high speed, and then you're going to have some really slow spots.
Yeah, and right there, Opplinger shows the braking is very key because, you know, he was kind of losing a little bit of time there to Jensen, but actually found himself being a little more to the inside of him once he got to that corner. He had a later break in and was able to, you know, kind of close in on him a little bit there.
Well, Tyler Bertram had an incident here, and we're going to check it out, as it looks like he spun the tires, and so did Forrest Smith, but they keep going.
You know, and that was what I was talking about in the turn one. You know, you're really going to have to try to brake a little later, get into the corner deeper than your other guy, but you also run the risk of, you know, braking a little too hard and, you know, not soon enough to where you end up going through the corner. He's lucky that Bertram also had a little bit of an issue because he would have definitely cleaned both of them out and definitely set themselves up for a bad point today.
You know what, you're absolutely right. We were on the lap 17 of 33. And we're watching a pretty hefty battle here with Nicholas Weatherby. He's up 13 spots.
Yeah, and it's great, you know, because he makes a lot of that time up, you know, on that restart, and then he also slowly picks off each, you know, driver in front of him. I look for him to possibly make a run to get back up to Jensen and, you know, Opplinger here.
As we are looking at Daniel Krimner in that 47 car, it looks like he's getting ready to make a move on the, what looks to be the 34 car. That's the 73 car. Sorry, Alan thought that he just passed.
Yeah, and you can see he's going in a little deeper there than Nicholas Caldwell. So he's going to be right on his bumper as Caldwell gets a little loose coming out of that corner. And, you know, Prim threw it into that one corner. You know, that's a rather fast corner. You know, it's very, very easy to, you know, kind of overrun that corner there and, you know, run it too wide. But he does it to perfection, keeps up the speed, goes through that corner, takes the spot away from, you know, Alan Fox, and now he's really trying to push it into these corners deep and get another spot on Caldwell as Caldwell gets loose again. So, you know, these guys are definitely fighting the cars behind them and trying to manage a very hot track and, you know, colder tires. So it's a little chaotic for them right now.
We're going to see what happened to Jonathan Cogswell, because he had an incident, and here he is, turn one. Gets that thing way wide and goes off the racetrack there in that number 84 car. Oh, there it is, right there. Oh, hang on to her. Once again, no.
Yeah, and that's
caution.
one of those things. It's one of those things where Thwaites anticipated a little later braking, or Thwaites possibly broke a little later, and they just collect each other.
That's one of those things where we call it, if you zig, I zag, and that's what happens. You get a little loose. As right now, Daniel Kerman at 47 car goes up the hill. And right there in that first corner, Jordan, that's where I feel like you can make a lot of moves and play, like you said, play leapfrog and get those cars passed.
Yeah, I mean it's a fast corner and it's a very heavy braking point. So if you can get right on the rear bumper of the car in front of you, kind of offset yourself from him and kind of try to get into the inside, brake just a tad bit later, maybe even get the doors out, throw some elbows. You can definitely make a lot of passing there. Then there's a lot of short turns, the S's. That's not a lot of places to make up time, but this right here, running down over this little hump right there, down into this little fast corner right before the hairpin, you can kind of outbrake your opponent in front of you and kind of cut them off on the inside.
And that's to your point, Jordan. When you're passing on a road course, you're setting that pass up long before that corner even comes up here. We're on board with Nicholas Weatherby here, driver out of West Edmonston, New York. And Scott Weatherby, YouTube chat. What I love about YouTube, Jordan, if you butcher something, they'll let you know.
Oh, absolutely. The moment you mess something up, they'll send the enunciation and everything for you. But we do our best. We do our best. As Caldwell gets a little loose, he's trying to save it. He doesn't save it. He goes off the track.
Oh no! And we were on board with him when that happened.
And see, that's difficult there, because that's a very busy corner. He's got to try to get that turned around and going, rather quickly. But you're under fire there. He loses several spots all the way back to 17th. He was sitting there roughly around that top 10 spot, around Alan Fox and Daniel Krim. So he was about 8th place there. And it's. Yeah, you see this slick track, cold tires. He got a little loose, trying to get back to the gas early, and he tried to keep himself off of Alan Fox there, so it just ends up taking him around.
He almost saved it though. He almost saved it, as we are now back here with Alan Fox, their driver out of Syracuse, New York, in that Walmart delivery Chevy Camaro, the number 73. We are on lap number 19 of 33 here. And right now, Michael Scott List Rambler has a huge lead. He's got almost a 10-second gap over Justin Opplinger. And Jordan, to your point, Scott List Rambler has been so dominant in these races. No matter whether it's been oval, road course, or throw him in a dirt late model, he'd probably be just as good.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if he's a very big road racer as well. I don't know anybody outside of this league, but it would not surprise me if he's into running the Daytona 24 or even Le Mans or any of that stuff, because he definitely knows how to get around this track. And these guys aren't any slouches. They're not running slow times. They're running good times at 222, 224s, 223s. But Rambler just has that faster 220, 219, 218s that he's able to pull off, and he's able to maintain it consistently through every lap. And that's the biggest thing about road racing, is being consistent. Because if you're 100% or even 90%, and the guy behind you is only running consistently about 80% of the time, that 10% difference is a lot of time.
You're not wrong there, as we are working lap 20 of 33. What we're going to do is we're going to step aside. We're going to pay a couple of bills. I'm Alan, that's Jordan. You're watching the stream. the XMS Elite Xfinity Series live from Coda. And we'll be right back. Got me?
Yeah, and unfortunately for Weatherby there, you know, he's got a lot of damage, and he's going to have to get that thing fixed. Thankfully for this track, I don't think it's going to really put him in any danger of truly going down a lap. But, you know, with how Rambler's running, he's definitely got a possibility of that happening. Rambler now up to a 15-second lead over second place, just running away with it. And it must feel good for him right now. You know, I don't want to put any jinx on him, but you know, he's had such a struggle this year, and to see him pull away by 15 seconds with still 12 laps to go, it's long overdue in my opinion for him to have such a dominant, you know, race, because I mean, he dominates these ovals phenomenally, and it hasn't really shown in the point standings right now, as he sits at about 6th. And truly, I think he should be miles ahead of everybody and have going on 3 possible wins already. But just a string of bad luck will get you. Oh, and we see him go a little wide there, and that's the thing about these S's. Once you get a little off rhythm, it's hard to get that rhythm back. You got to kind of set yourself up the next 2 corners to even find that swing in it again. And it seems, I mean, we're probably getting close to roughly needing tires, fuel, and I wouldn't be surprised if here shortly he makes a way in, because I heard him clutching it down into turn 1 as he clutches it down into this hairpin turn here. So probably just trying to stretch it out, get back to pit road, but definitely hard once you lose your kind of mojo. You got to get it back. Yeah, I mean, the key to having a best finish is to finish. So, going off track, possibly getting yourself into some hairy situations, getting in the some of these barriers. They're not soft barriers. They're not like Daytona, where we have a little bit of a leeway. If you get touch the wall. These walls are hard guardrails, tires. They're not very forgiving. So, you also want to watch your incident count. As you hit that higher incident count, you risk throwing yourself out of the race with a DQ. So there's a lot to try to balance while trying to also go as fast as possible and keep it on the racetrack. Yeah, and last week, Jacob Brower was looking to make the sweep until he was taken out by a lapped car. It just happened to be, the lap car did something different than he had anticipated, and ended up getting spun and costing himself a good finish there. But he was dominant in the Richmond race, so I look forward to seeing if he can pull off any kind of miracle. With Ramler being in that race as well. I don't see it as possible, but you know, things can always change. Yeah, I'm not too up on their road series, but I do know that they run it, and I would not be surprised if Rambler is in that as well. And I mean, he's definitely showing that he is an all-around talent when it comes to racing. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's the defending Cup Series champion. So, you know, he's looking to defend that title. And, you know, and to go back to my point I was making about Ed Morris, he was actually the champion of the Xfinity Series last year. So, you know, he's looking to have a good finish here. Like you said, he's always kind of under the radar, but, you know, he definitely made it known that he's a good racer as far as last year, you know, winning the championship. So he's definitely going to look to try to, you know, defend that championship. And, you know, Senesac still waiting to make his pit, who's last in at the stage break. Rambler already done his pit cycle looking to take back his lead spot, and I don't think he's going to have any issue here. Fresher tires, you know, and definitely showing the more talented driver here. But, you know, Senesac's probably going to try to just get out of the way, let him have it. Yeah, I'm definitely taking 4 tires. You know, you use them up through every turn. You're constantly abusing them on your, you know, on throttle, and, you know, definitely wearing them down a little bit more as you try to brake. You know, we all try to brake straight into the corner so that you can, you know, not really try to slide those tires, but there's always that chance you brake and turn in at the same time, which, you know, causes some sliding. So 4 tires is an absolute must here. Yeah, and I mean it's going to be a tough tail to do. You know, he's proving that he's the class of the field when it comes to road racing, and they're going to need a massive slip up. I mean, Ramler could easily spin out and still get the car going straight and still have over a 20 to 25-second lead. Yeah, and the race right now is definitely for second. So, you know, I would kind of put it out of my mind running down the leader at this point. Just try to run down the guy in front of you. You know, get that extra point and move on to next week. Yeah, absolutely. Our next race is going to be at Rockingham. You know, we're going from one of the longest tracks to back to another short track. So, you know, these guys are definitely getting their workouts from going from Richmond to Coda here in Austin, Texas, right back out to Rockingham for another short race or short track race. And, you know, any kind of frustrations you have from tonight, you know, whether it be just you had a bad week or, you know, some guy got into you too many times and, you know, kind of cost you some spots by getting into you and sending you around or wherever it may be, you're going to have your chance to get the payback next week at Rockingham. Yeah, and like we said, basically all night, braking is a key part in this track and getting positions and tracking down the guy in front of you. Alan Fox seems like he is on a mission. You know, he's already running down Vidal in front of him, you know, looking about a second behind him. Yeah, and these guys definitely know that the fight is for that second position. First is way out of grabs for these guys. And so grabbing that second position is about as best as you can do. Yeah, it seems now that Senesac has found a little bit of a groove. You know, able to pull out about 3.5 seconds ish on Alan Dobbs and Justin Opplinger. So for him, he's just going to hope to ride out these last few laps and bring it home second, which is not anything to complain about, and just move on to Rockingham. Yeah, these guys are definitely going to be glad to wash their hands of COTA and hopefully not see it anymore this next year, this year, the rest of the year, and gladly avoid any road courses. Yeah, and it's such a hard thing to get off corner. You're trying to fight that primal instinct to just hammer down and go, and it's not easy to just kind of cruise. You gotta find that happy medium between cruising and getting at it, and it's a hard thing. But Liz Ramler definitely knows what he's doing. Yeah, and it's only going to get more spread out. Some people are going to be trying to march through this field, trying to get that last car in front of them, and it's as we see Jensen trying to get around Opplinger now. Yeah, and they're really trying to go at it because I saw both of those cars a little bit sideways off the corner. Opplinger getting a little bit better of a braking into that zone, but Jensen's going to be able to fire off and get away from him. But with this long straightaway, Opplinger is going to try to draft a little bit, try to get up close to him as possible, so that he could probably try to outbrake him. Not gaining a ton. I mean, he's still about half a second behind, 0.6 behind, but this is a big braking corner. If you can get this down, you can make up a lot of time and be right on that guy's bumper on corner exit. Yeah, no, 100%. But, you know, it's really, this platform really shows that, you know, you're not just limited to one series or one type of racing. You know, you can run dirt, road dirt, NASCAR, open wheel, GT cars. I mean, it really brings out the best in you as far as racing in general. Yeah, and that's what I've talked about all night is, getting too late into your braking zone or even trying to brake under turns, while you're turning, it's going to get you out of whack, and it's not going to be a good day for you. Yeah, and I think Opplinger and Jensen and Dobbs, they all burn up their stuff there trying to fight each other for that third spot, and that just allowed Senesac to find a way to pull away, and Ramler just to continue his dominance. Yeah, and for him, he's able to just cruise now. He doesn't even have to push these corners. He can just ease through them and just kind of back off, take his merry little time, and just enjoy this last lap. Ends up saving it. So I mean, that's talent in itself to, get slideways and then find a way to keep it from actually spinning around completely. Yeah, and I mean, it may not look like it to them, but that's a great night. Yeah, you lost by 45, 40, 50-second, but you essentially still showed that you're one of the faster in road racing. You know, it's still going to have a little bit of sting with it, but you got some good points. You know, you're going to come away with a good, good finish and continue to build on what you've built this year and be able to just move on with some confidence into next week and in the weeks that follow. Yeah, and I mean, the only time he saw another car was either when he was lapping them or taking back his lead that he had, from Senesac. So the only thing he had to worry about today was just not beating himself. Yeah, that Austin heat will get you. I feel like that. Well, I think I know what I'm asking him later. I know what I'm going to be asking him. Yeah, but the fact of flipping into reverse that quickly, I think that's a little bit of showboating there. But I mean, for the frustration that he's had this season, I'm glad that he's able to show off a little bit. Yeah, and we're just going to sit here, watch these guys finish up. And, I don't think there's anybody that really needs to hang their head. Everybody put in their effort to do their best at a road course. And for a lot of these guys, road courses aren't what they do. They probably avoid these on the schedule and, just try to find those ovals that they love to run and just kind of work on their gamemanship there. Rambler's still going. And that's got to be got to be very fulfilling for him after such a struggle, with getting the wins in the early part of the season to now being a winner and able to run this track backwards better than I can run it forwards.
Wow, what a run. Lisp Rambler burns it down, and guess what? Jordan, you get to go on a mission.
Yep, I'm working on it now.
Or something over the day.
Alan Dobbs, it's Jordan and Alan up in the booth. You got us?
I got you, buddy.
Well, you come away with another good finish. I believe you were third last week. I misplaced my notes.
I think so.
Yeah, so you come away with another good finish. I know Rambler definitely put it on you guys tonight, but how do you feel about the race after crossing the start-finish line?
I always feel great when this race is over, because this track isn't worth a NASCAR race. So yeah, I'm feeling great now that we're done. It's wonderful.
Well, I mean, I got to say, you definitely know how to get around here, and you definitely put on a good performance. Come away with some good points. You should be able to keep your points lead. How do you adjust from going from such a large road course? I believe it's a little bit more of a mental struggle throughout a road course versus going to somewhere like Rockingham next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely two completely different worlds, but in one way that they're the same is that your tires are going to be absolutely on fire if you're not careful. So next week's definitely going to come down to a lot of tire saving and being patient for sure.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all whatsoever. It's going to be a big adjustment, but you guys are professionals. You guys put on good races, good shows. Before we let you go, is there anybody you want to shout out to?
Yeah, shout out to Nightfall Graphics, all the guys at NCR. Shout out to the league sponsors, Ancient World Gaming. My mind blanked. Appreciate the broadcast. Thanks everybody for the race.
All right. Well, we thank you for taking some time out of the day for us.
Appreciate you guys.
Now, I believe, Alan, you're with Bryce Senesac.
Bryce, it's Alan and Jordan up in the SRM booth. How's it going, buddy?
Good.
So look, heck of a race here at Coda, and Michael Scott just absolutely dominated the field. We're going into Rockingham. Take us through this race. Once we got going, what's your thoughts on road racing?
I love it. I had this race circled on the calendar once I saw the schedule, and I knew when I saw Rambler was going to be racing, he was signed up for the series. Of course, he was going to be one to beat here, and I was just going in here. Best I knew I could do was second, and that's what I got. I'm happy with it. So I need something catastrophic, whether internet or somehow he missed a shift and blew up. Something like that had happened, but obviously, it's Scott Rambler on a road course. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, he was miles and miles ahead. He got a head start he just called me. He's on his way to Rockingham right now.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, 43 seconds ahead of behind him. Not a bad person to finish second to. So what's your mindset moving forward as we get ready to gear up and go short track racing once again?
Like I said back at Homestead, I can only do what half the season. I'm going out here kind of just trophy hunting, seeing how many wins or if I even can get a win. But I mean, it's only going to go out and see what we can do.
All right, Bryce. Is there anybody that you would like to thank that helped get you here tonight?
Gotta thank Ed Morris for all he does with his league, the admins, you guys up in the broadcast, all the guys back at CR9 Racing, and shout out for Celsius and Spoiler Diecast.
All right, Bryce. Well, congratulations on the second place podium, and we'll see you next week at Rockingham.
We'll see you.
And Jordan, last but certainly not least.
Mr. Rambler, it's Jordan and Allen up in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
Well, after weeks and weeks of being so close and then going through a miserable race last week, you finally get that first win of the season. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good, but I mean, this is one of my favorite car track combos. I absolutely love COTA. I'm definitely in the minority on that, so I kind of came in to this race knowing that I was going to win it and plan to do the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah, without a doubt, you definitely prove that you're the road course guy. I'd even put you up against AJ Allmendinger at this track, or even quote unquote the original Chase Elliott. But you know, how did you keep your mind focused after going from the worst position last week to the first position this week?
You just have to be able to put all that behind you. Adversity is going to come with everything you do, so you just need to know how to shake it off and look forward to give yourself the best opportunities to succeed. So I put in a little bit of practice here and just made it so that I was comfortable doing everything I needed to do with the car and drove away with it.
And drove away indeed. We're going to a short track next week. How do you readjust and get yourself, going from such a long road course, 3.5-ish miles to a small track with high banking?
I've pretty much already consigned Bristol to be Bristol. It's just like Daytona and Talladega. You have to be a bit more lucky than good to win there. So whatever I get there is whatever I get there.
Oh, before we let you go, is there anybody you want to shout out?
Absolutely. I want to thank Jeff McConey, my personal sponsor, and AJ and the guys at All Star 15 TV, Nerds Doing Nerd Thing podcast, all the guys at HSR, Joe Hutchings. Thanks to him for bringing me on board. I don't even know how many years ago now, probably like 2 or 3. Thanks to Gary and all the guys up in the booth making everything run, Ed Morris for putting everything on, and thanks to you guys for broadcasting and everybody came out to watch. Sorry I had to play spoiler to such a massive extent, but that's a fun race.
Yeah, and I mean, you made it interesting, and I've got to say, I feel like you're going to be competing with, Mater with the world's best backwards driver there at the end.
I love doing that.
Well, you can definitely run this backwards better than I can forward. So, thanks for taking some time out, and we'll get you out of here.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Alan, it wasn't if he was going to get a win. It was when. He runs so well. He knows how to run around every track. And, I knew that I would be talking to him and seeing him win, and I'm just glad to see him finally break through, get that win, and now he can kind of get that chip off of his shoulder. He doesn't really have to worry about when's he gonna win, because he's already won, and now he can go trophy hunting and, more importantly, make a run for the championship.
Yeah, this race, we saw a lot of good racing going on. All throughout the field, like you said, Michael Scott lists Rambler. It was only a matter of time, but right now we're going to get ahead and get the results on the board for you. As That's not what I want. There we go. Michael List Rambler brings it home with a 43-second advantage over Bryce Senesic. And Alan Dobbs will round out your podium there in P3. Jacob Jensen will finish 4th. Rounding out your top 5 will be Justin Opplinger. Bringing it home P6 will be Joshua Vidal. Alan Fox will bring it home P7. Daniel Krem will bring it home P8. In the 9th position will be Ted Poland. Michael Thwaites rounding out your top 10. Ed Morris Jr., the chief cook and bottle washer here at XMS Extreme Elite Series, will bring it home P11. Jonathan Cogswell will bring it home 12th. Tyler Bertram will bring it home 13th. Frank Orsini will bring it home 14th. Paul Irvin will bring it home 15th. Douglas Carlson will bring it home 16th, 3 laps down. Josh Wren will bring it home 17th. Nicholas Weatherby will bring it home 18th. Some laps down also. Bringing it home 19th tonight will be Mike Capagio. Nicholas Caldwell will bring it home 20th. 21st will be Forrest Smith. Joe Darnell will be bringing it home 22nd. Michael Self will be bringing it home 23rd. Dustin Carroll will bring it home 24th. And winning the race to the beer stand tonight will be Matt Cochran. And not making a call tonight also will be David Kellogg. So next week we leave the road courses. We're gonna make left turns only, and we're gonna go to Rockingham, North Carolina. So as we wrap this one up, Jordan, any final thoughts before we close out the show tonight?
I mean, I think it's a very clear, Michael Scottless Rambler, class of the field, able to get around here quicker than anybody, probably quicker than most of the NASCAR iRacing community, in my opinion. Everybody else hard fought for second. It was a fun race to watch. Between Alan Dobbs and Senesic and Opplinger. And I look forward to these guys getting back to a short track and throwing some elbows.
All right, well, that's going to about do it here from Coda with the XMS Elite Xfinity Series. Just remember tomorrow, the same bat time, same bat channel, different bat cars. You can check out the XMS Cup Series from right back here at Coda, where Michael Scott List Rambler just said he guaranteed us a win. But with that being said, I want to thank all of our viewers tonight. And on behalf of Racing Media, I'm Alan Bergen, and he is Jordan Brackel. Good night, and we'll see you on the next one.
Rickmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, rickmotech.com.